Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of My Journey Making Music. Now, this episode is about a violinist that came in named Meyer. I'm very late in the production and I'm wrapping things up right now, trying to get the album finished and the final episodes finished. And so I am out of time to put this episode together, so I'm handing this one off to my friend Clark, and he's going to put this episode together. I have no idea what to expect. I just know that he can do the job, and so it'll be a little bit different than maybe what you're used to, because I told Clark to just tell the story in his own way. So with that, I'm going to hand it off to Clark, and I'll catch you at the very end of the video.
There's never been anyone that came in and just was like sort of the iconic, I am the rock violinist. It hasn't happened. It's, I say, still up for grabs.
Okay, I'm in the studio again. It's Thursday, August 10th, 2023. And just think about that.
Hey, Jeremy.
Hey!
How you doing?
Good. It's August, and this album is supposed to be released in November. Nice to meet you.
Great to meet you.
Yeah. But I'm working on the last two songs, and today I'm bringing in the final musician, Meyer, to play violin. So this is Aaron. What are you playing today, sir?
Violin.
Awesome.
And viola.
And viola. This hopefully is going to go off without a hitch. Can't wait to hear. of preparation. I wrote the parts, and Clark and I had them submitted to a friend of Jan Weston's to have it transcribed to sheet music for Aaron to play. Then we sent that to Aaron. He's hopefully got it rehearsed. The guy's a professional.
Yeah. You know, it's a frustrating instrument.
Oh yeah. And if all goes well, this should be pretty easy for me today. I think most of my focus is probably just going to be capturing video with a few directions here and there, but the violin hit this note. It's the D, the high D. You know, Clark knows what he's doing, Aaron knows what his job is, and I, for the first time, feel like there's not going to be much for me to do other than shoot video and give occasional direction. So we'll see if that's actually what happens, but
Concert rock violinist is a play on a concert violinist, which would be like Itzhak Perlman. You know, he's a concert violinist and a master of playing classical music. And I studied classical music as a kid. My father's a classical violin teacher, so I grew up, you know, in that world. And as I got older, I wanted to try other styles of music and even quit playing violin and came back to it. And I would always try to incorporate other styles of music. And I always gravitated towards rock music. And I thought, well, you know, I'm not going to be a concert violinist. That's pretty hard to do that. But what if I inserted the word rock in there and I became a concert rock violinist? And my whole sort of vision was combining classical music with rock music, and that's essentially what it is. And it's our own genre of music, and the Lord gave me that title, and it came into my head, and I didn't know how I was going to make the music, but I knew what my title was. And that's how that started in about the year 2000.
So that's the first step, is having the job title, because
Yes.
then you can get business cards and you're on the way.
And I
Right?
can at least say I'm doing this, even if I don't know what I'm doing.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. So what grabbed you about the violin? Was it your father's?
Yeah, my dad taught classical violin in our home 6.5 days a week. He took Sunday afternoons off. And every day kids came in and went out. And I just, you know, ever since I was born, when I was in my mom's belly, there was violin music and lessons going on. And I just grew up around it. And it was great because kids were playing, you know, they come in for their lesson and they wait for the lesson. And I would, you know, have kids to play with. It wasn't really a choice in our family. You were going to play the violin. But Dad, you know, really wanted to give us something, and he knew that, you know, sticking with something and being committed to it, the discipline would later translate to anything, you know, anywhere you want to direct that. So we're grateful for it.
Well, lucky for us, your dad was.
I would have quit
was
if it weren't for
there,
Dad.
or we'd be like trying to figure out what the heck to do with this song still.
Right here. That bar. It's that bar. Yep. And it's just that bar, then you can sneak out.
You know, I chased the violin for a long time. I was a classical violin performance major in college for 1 year, and wasn't sure I should really pursue that. And I love the classical world. It just wasn't my calling, wasn't my path, and it's extremely competitive. So, you know, I thought I was going to not even be in music at all, and pursued, you know, math and then science, and thought about even maybe going to medical school. And eventually just music chased me down, and I really needed to invent myself and sort of carve my own path. So that's why I chose concert rock violin, or it chose me, however you want to think about it. I played with the Philadelphia Orchestra when I was 11.
When you were 11?
Yeah, I won a children's competition, and my father had five children soloists before me, and I was number 6. And that was a wonderful moment in my life. One of the greatest orchestras in the world. And then after I did that performance, I told my dad I was ready to retire.
Oh, lucky for us, you didn't. And then
That was a difficult period.
what was your vision of how retirement would be at the
I'd
age
watch TV and be like a normal teenager.
Yeah.
But that wasn't going to fly. And, I was 11 at that point, and that was a tough time in my life. But we got through it, and eventually I came back to it, and then went full speed ahead in, the classical realm, and did that till I was about 19 after that first year in college. And I just needed to put it down, try other things, and then sort of rediscover it on my own. And I just needed that time to do so. Which I thought was just, I'll just do this while I figure out what I'm going to do with my life. But little did I know that the Lord was preparing me for the next step and the next step and the next step. And it wasn't to not be in music. I just needed to have time to meet the right people and figure out what it is that I was going to be doing. And as we know, it's easy to look back when you can see all the pieces, but it's like a puzzle.
He's gone ahead of us, and it's all being orchestrated.
He knows a thing or two more than we do.
I think so. I think so. Totally. So now we're in the stage where Aaron is warmed up, and he's in the booth ready to go, see? And now Clark is starting to do the sound check with him. Basically, that's to make sure all the volumes are good, so Aaron can hear what he needs to hear, and Clark is able to hear what he needs to hear, so we can communicate and make sure we get a good recording on both ends. So we'll get the sound check done, and then we'll get to it.
I first worked with Pink Martini.
Right.
So they found me, I found them, and I played with them before they were really sort of, a famous band.
Is that the Hey No Problemo Pink Martini?
I think so.
Yeah.
I worked with them in 1996, and that sort of pulled me back in, and I liked what they were doing, because even though there was no real rock component to them, but they were taking classical music and blending it with other styles.
They were doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, like Latin and jazz and sort of more worldy kind of music.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really creative and fun, and I learned there's this whole other way that you could use a classical instrument and integrate it into other styles and other ways of performance. So that was helpful.
Kind of like gypsy music even.
Absolutely, yeah. Then I played with Michael Allen Harrison, the keyboard player, for about 3-4 years, and again that showed me something different, and also like how to sort of conduct yourself in the business part of music, because I didn't know anything about that. I just learned it as I was, on the fly.
Right.
And eventually I just wanted to try something on my own. And Bill had played with Michael and had the time and the knowledge and the energy to invest in sort of creating a new sound for a new artist. So he put that energy into me, and that's where I started. And so I was a whole different, thing, instrumental, crazy violin music. But he wasn't afraid to get his feet wet and just launch in and go for it. So we started doing it, and he was really supportive of taking my ideas and helping me to develop them. But he had a home studio, and we could work at our own pace in that world. I didn't have enough money to go to a commercial place or really hire very many people at that time. So it was a great start, and we gained a little following and kept going.
You worked with Tim Ellis as well.
Tim Ellis, yeah.
Who's also greatly missed, I think.
Exactly. Yeah, Tim, I've known Tim a long time. I knew him since 1997, and he was a real influence in my life. And I worked with him a little bit in 97, and then I started with Bill. I really needed someone who had the time and the energy to just like dedicate to me and helping me develop this concert rock sound. And we worked for 6 years together, Bill and I. And then I needed to make a change, and Tim was there for me. And he said, "Well, let's look at your concert dates and what you're trying to do." And by this point, I had built, a little following, and I had some, a Christmas concert going on, and people were calling me for bookings. So I had enough to generate some work and income. And he just helped me lift everything to the next level, which I was ready for. I just needed someone to sort of push me that way. He just took everything to the next level. No matter what I threw at him, he was like, "Let's do it. We can do this." And I knew that he could figure things out. He wasn't afraid.
Yeah.
He was not afraid to take risks. Yeah. And unfortunately, Tim passed away in 2016, which left me sort of in a spot of like, now what? And it was a tough time because I didn't realize how spoiled I had been with his professionalism and how much he did for me. And then I realized that I had taken some of that for granted. I didn't know it, but I was. And then it's like, sometimes you don't know what you miss until it's gone. And you're like, ah.
Yeah.
So I fumbled around, and but I know, again, the Lord had a plan. Like, he needed me to fumble around because he wanted me to learn new things and figure out, where am I strong, where am I weak, how can I get the support. And when I started working with Tim in 2007, he had hired Dean Baskerville, an engineer, to be our engineer. And Tim was really the producer, but Dean was also very, accomplished in the recording studio, and he can produce and write music and arrange music.
Was Jean-Pierre here at the Aaron Meyer show?
Sure.
What is it exactly called?
It's called Rock the Holidays. Aaron Meyer in our band. It's a 6-piece band. Mm-hmm. We've got a 4-piece string quartet. We've got 29 kids that are playing with us. So many of them are students. Some are from the Youth Symphony. A couple of students from Gig Harbor showed up. A kid from Bend came up. It's just pretty darn great.
These kids are good. These kids are good.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome show, man.
Thanks.
Yeah. I look forward to the second half. Cool. Was that it?
I don't see him.
You don't see him? Is he in the foyer, maybe?
Oh, there he is.
Where?
Follow me.
So the guy that helped me to transcribe the music for Aaron Meyer is standing right here. So I'm gonna meet him, shake his hand, did all this work together, but I haven't actually met him, and I'll do that now. So. I got Dean Baskerville here, and what is it exactly you did on my project with the violin?
I arranged some violin parts for Aaron Meyer to play on one of your songs.
Yep. And so we're finally meeting after all this work, and so good to meet you.
Good to meet you, Jeremy.
We'll just get a shot here.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. Good work.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
But he was hired as the engineer, and Tim was kind of running the show when Tim was around. And when Tim passed away, Dean ended up taking over for me, not just with engineering, but also producing. And he suggested that we bring on a gentleman named Jeremie Heston, who plays drums, and now has filled the role of Tim Ellis. He's my music director. He's my producer. He's a producer and partner with Dean Baskerville, so they work together. And then he was really able to sort of look at the whole sort of artist brand and artist development and take that to a whole nother creative level. And he's become my creative director. And a lot of these terms and things that were going on, I didn't even know until, we were kind of doing them together, or someone said that to me. You need a creative director. What's that?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. But it's just been this great, this wonderful, sort of, one thing happens and then the Lord sends the next person or the next opportunity. And I've learned through this whole process that if you really learn to trust Him, He'll provide for you. And it's just been a great, scary, empowering, path. So, musically, we really started to dig in with Dean Baskerville, Jeremie Heston, and myself, like, what is concert rock? And in 2019, I said, I really want to do something I love taking classical pieces of music and adapting it to sort of this concert rock violin, whatever that's going to be. And I had done that with other classical pieces of music, but when we took The Marriage of Figaro by Mozart, just like we like to take classical music and adapt it to the rock, we like to take anthemic rock songs and adapt it the other way. So we've taken like Bohemian Rhapsody, Dream On, Every Breath You Take. When I became aware of you, Jeremie Heston, and we started talking about your project, and you wanted strings on a song, and I asked, do you have the parts already written? And no. We started talking about how we would do that, and that led us to Dean Baskerville, who does this for me all the time, because a lot of our music has a band with a string quartet playing along. Mm-hmm. So he's constantly writing, these string parts, for our concert rock arrangements. And he did that for your song. And it was just so natural because,
just based off of the keyboard strings that I created.
Exactly.
And just transposed them. Great work. Dean's good.
Jan was the one that put you and I in contact.
Right.
And Jan had introduced us.
Yeah.
And I met Jan through Tim Ellis.
Okay.
So Tim and Jan were friends because Tim taught Jan's youngest son the guitar. And they became buddies. And I would hear Tim, over the years talk about, because Tim was a talker. And he would talk about Jan Weston. So I knew the name, but I didn't really know him. Yeah. And I didn't get to know Jan until Tim was gone.
So you've known Jean-Pierre longer than you know Jan, then?
Oh, yeah. I've known Jean-Pierre Garral since 1997.
Anywhere the wind blows.
All right. What song are we tackling today?
Apparently, Queen.
Apparently.
Is this what you heard me play with Aaron? No escaping reality.
Yes. Yep, that's the one. Aaron is we have a mutual friend, Jan Weston.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a song I'm working on that needs violin.
Oh.
Jan recommended Aaron, so he did the introduction, and Aaron contacted me yesterday and said he wants to come in and do that.
Nice.
So
You guys gonna come in here?
yeah,
Cool.
we'll have him do one song, and that's gonna be fun. That was unexpected, but that's kind of how God works, right?
Yes. To our delight and despair.
Amen, brother.
We've been playing for 27 years together.
Those two are how I identify our connection is.
Yes.
We both know Jean-Pierre and we both know Jan.
Yeah. Jan was really the one that connected me to you and said, he told me how fond he was of you and your music, and that if there was ever an opportunity for us to work together, he thought that would be cool. And then, Jan has been so kind to support our Christmas concert series as one of our title sponsors. I said I would like to do something. I kept trying to do something nice for Jan, and there's nothing that he would let me do.
Well, it's funny you say that, because when I was talking with Jan, he kept pushing. Oh, you got to reach out to Aaron. You got to reach out to Aaron. And I'm just like,
The Lord was stirring his heart. Yeah.
I've got 15 songs and 40 episodes I'm working on. I just don't have time.
Right. You got enough going on.
And plus, he doesn't know me from Adam, so how in the world am I going to convince a world-class violinist to come into this small project and do this? I don't have that ace in my pocket. Here, Jen, why don't you reach out to him and see if you can make it happen? That's going to be the best shot of this connection happening. And so he did.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful that it all worked out that way.
Me too. Yeah. And then we connected, and I said to Jan, well, I'd really like to do something nice for you. So what if I just went and did something with Jeremie, and would that be okay? And it's like, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that note if it's possible.
Oh, yeah.
Can I pay attention to that one more time, please?
All right.
I just want to make sure before we lock in.
All right, here we go.
I don't do a lot of sessions for other people. So this is pretty unique that I like doing it.
Yeah.
But I don't, just because I'm, my life is full and I'm dedicated to my students and
I get it.
this and that. But I'm glad this worked out. This is really,
I totally get it. I only work on my own projects.
Yeah.
I don't really have time or energy
Sure.
to do other people's stuff.
But that said, you can come in and do a session anytime you want.
It's
Just
really
tell me when to
fun.
put the coffee
Yeah.
on and I'll be ready.
Yeah.
we're trying to create as much now that we have a sound and a brand and imagery. We're really focused on just putting out content that fits our brand. And then the last component I wanted to add was is focusing on the music education. We have a program for our students that we call the Concert Rock Academy. So it's any instrument that would play in our band, which would be violin, viola, cello, guitars, bass, keys, and drums, 7 instruments. So it's really sort of, our focus is concert rock, classical rock, taking the classical world and fusing it with the rock world.
I can think of not many like rock violinists or fusion
There aren't many.
violinists. Yeah.
There are a handful, but there's never been anyone that came in and just was like sort of the iconic, I am the rock violinist. It hasn't happened. It's, I say, still up for grabs.
Yeah.
Like the way, if someone were like, who does, funky piano music, you would think Stevie Wonder, or who was the new age sax piano, it would be Kenny G, like that
Exactly.
sort of rock violin. I don't know. I think it's still up for grabs. Who are my influences? From a classical perspective, I always listen to a guy named Jascha Heifetz, who's no longer here, but he was a Russian Jewish unbelievable violinist. And then in the rock world, it was always like classic rock that I gravitated towards. So I was into all the classic rock music of the time, but. It's kind of embarrassing to admit it, but I was a deadhead. So there you go.
Yeah.
I just gave myself away. I got like sucked into the Grateful Dead, which is so ironic because like classical music and performance is so detail oriented, and I don't think you could get anything more chaotic in a rock, in the rock realm than the Grateful Dead. They were truly chaotic.
But they've had a major influence on music.
Yeah, and they covered so much. It was so diverse, and I don't know. I like the free form, and I like how it would come back together. And I don't know. I was just like pulled to that kind of music.
Yeah.
And some people get it, and some people
That's
just can't
interesting
stand it. Yeah.
Because it's a music that relies so much on improvisation and just that whatever's happening in the moment, which is kind of the opposite of classic.
Opposite. I think that's kind of why I was attracted to it, because I was rebelling.
Yeah.
The typical rebeller, disobedient. I connected with Jeremie Heston because of Jan Weston. Jan had told me about Jeremie and his music, and was hoping that there might be an opportunity for us to meet and get and work together. And he sort of put it out there, I think, to both of us. And then Jeremie contacted me and sent me the song, and we started brainstorming and talking about ideas, and that led us to talking about parts and JP and Dean, and then
So
here
I
we
sent
are.
you Vision in a Dream in
Yes.
a
And
probably
the MP3 before it had any strings on it, the synth part.
earlier iteration. Yeah, we've been trying to figure out like what the song is, because it's not really, you know, a rock song. It's not really a classical song. It's not really a jazz song. You got any clues? How would you kind of?
I think it's got a really strong melody, which is what I connect with probably more than anything. I'm not really a student of harmony. You know, I play an instrument that's melodic, so I'm used to playing the melody. And as a classical violinist, I'm used to reading the notes on the page. And yeah, I do have some experience with improvisation. I guess, you know, I don't think I'm a very good improviser, but I guess I'm, you know, crazy enough to just go for it and play. And sometimes it sounds good and sometimes it doesn't. But if you aren't willing to try, then how will you get any better?
Today it sounded good.
It felt okay.
It
Yeah,
really
it felt
did.
felt good. But what I liked about the song was it just a strong melody, and I liked how it was so open, and then certainly having, you know, organized parts with the string arrangements is really great. You know, it was really great. You know, I think Dean has a gift for finding what's appropriate, not too much, just what's right. And it was a joy to learn the parts and then actually put them together with you guys.
Yeah, it just worked beyond expectations. So good.
Yay.
How'd you like working with the Big Lug?
I liked it a lot. He's a really nice man, and you could see how much he loves the Lord and how passionate he is about what he's doing and how called he is to what he's doing. And I think that's just inspirational and really moving. And I'm glad that you guys asked me. It's been fulfilling.
After the session today, Jeremie took a moment and played for you the video project for Forever, that song Forever Hallelujah. Forever Hallelujah. We got a couple of versions of the song. This was the rock version. got any impressions?
I love it when people write music that praises the Lord's name. I just love that. So I love hearing that kind of music, and the words are really meaningful. The way whoever wrote the lyrics, did you write? Yeah, it's really just awesome. It's obvious that the Lord inspired you and directed your steps. I loved Philippians 2, 9, 10, 11. That's one of my go-to scriptures that I recite often. I thought that it's cool to be able to see the people that are recording. So the way that the music matches up with the video is wonderful and really well done.
Thank you.
And I just think it's a powerful song, and it was great. I loved it. I think it's an incredible project, and I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. Yeah. Glad you're a part of it too.
Yeah, neat.
Yeah, getting all kinds of fun.
And then your brother and your daughter, your two brothers and your daughter involved. I think that's really special. It's meaningful, and I think it's what a great thing to pass on to your daughter. Your love for the Lord and your commitment to Him, and He commands us to sing songs of praise, and salvation is confessed through the lips. I love it.
It's all good, man.
It is good.
So if people want to know more about you, they can find you at aaronmeyer.com, right?
That'd be the
Looks
best
like you've
place.
got some records there, like a dozen, maybe more.
Yeah, around there.
Yeah.
A lot of the music that's on there, not all of it that we're playing now, but it was a part of my past and helped me get to where I'm at. But yeah, if you wanted to learn what we're doing and what we got going on, that would be the place to go.
Aaron Meyer, thank you so much for the great interview and the great music and violin playing today. Everybody can go check Aaron out at aaronmeyer.com. But before we go, Jeremie has a little thank you gift he would like to present to you.
Okay, so as promised, I am popping in here at the end to close up the episode. And you all know what time it is. I mean, we got to do the gift, right? But Aaron and I, at this point, were basically complete strangers. So when you're setting up pranks or gifts, little gags, you got to do your research. So I reached out to Jean-Pierre and take a look at our little exchange here. We were having a dialogue, and then I said, last question, do you think Aaron would appreciate a funny gift like you got? Or should I not go there? I've given one to every musician on this project so far, but he and I have never met face to face. So what say you? And Jean-Pierre, being close friends with Aaron, said, who doesn't like a whoopee cushion? And I would absolutely have to agree with that. There's not one person that I've given it to that, I mean, you cannot hold a whoopee cushion and not squeeze it. I mean, come on. So then the next person I contacted, of course, was Jan Weston, another friend. And I said, hey, Jan, I have a random question for you. As you know, soon I will be bringing Aaron Meyer in to play violin. Jean-Pierre and I think that it would be a great idea to give him the same gift all the other musicians got, a whoopee cushion. But I've never met him in person. Do you think that would be a good fit for Aaron? And Jan says, absolutely fine. Yes, absolutely fine. So, in which my reply is, awesome, thanks, man. It's a done deal. So there you have it. I've done my research to make sure that I'm not going to offend the guy. And these guys know him, and it looks like it's all going to be good. So, without further ado, let's get right to it.
Brothers of the Flatulence.
There you go.
Oh,
And there's a card in there.
oh my goodness.
So if you would read the card out loud to the camera first,
Okay.
and then
My name.
away we go.
Yeah. Aaron, thank you for coming in and being part of this project. It's a privilege to finally meet you and work with you. I spoke with our mutual friend, Jan Weston and Jean-Pierre, and it was unanimously agreed that this gift would be a perfect gift for you. Oh, I can't wait to see what it is. May it always bring joy to your heart and a smile to your face. Your new friend, Jeremie. You want to look in here now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Your new friend, the other Jeremy.
Do I use it?
Give it make a joyful noise, my friend.
Good at that.
Good job. Good job.
Excuse me. Great. Oh my God.
Frame it.
That's awesome.
Every single musician that's joined this project has gotten one.
Oh, good.
It's kind of the gag at the
Oh,
end.
yeah. Oh, I already figured out some good uses for it.
Yeah, starting with Jean-Pierre.
I'll get them.
If anybody asks, I had nothing to do with it.
Right.
Hey, if you get them, get video and send it to me. I'd like to know. I could even include it.
Okay.
If,
Cool.
you, if you can get them.
I'll think about that. I'll plan something.
All right, man.
So fun.
All right. Thanks again. For
Oh,
coming
yeah,
in. God
absolutely.
bless you. So I hope you all enjoyed that episode. And first of all, I want to say thank you again, Aaron, for coming and donating your time and playing on the song Vision in a Dream. You did an extraordinary job, and I am really grateful to you. So thank you again. And Clark, thanks for putting this episode together. Couldn't have done it without you, not in the amount of time that we had. And so thank you for that. And for everybody else, even though this is episode 12, the way Aaron's performance fell into the schedule, he was one of the last musicians to be recorded. And so we weren't actually able to start assembling this episode until we were almost to the end of the project. And that's just kind of how it works out. That's part of the journey. It's part of the process. I don't always get to do things in the order that I want to. But thankfully, Clark was there to save the day and get the job done. So again, thank you all for watching, and I pray you all have a blessed day. You'll be seeing my vocal performance in the very next episode. So God bless you, and I'll talk to you next time. Hello, I hope you enjoyed that episode. Now, if you want to watch more episodes, you simply go on YouTube and type in Jeremie Heston, followed by My Journey Making Music, the season number, and the episode number that you want. I have 2 seasons out, and there are many episodes with wonderful stories and all kinds of fun things to watch. Also, at the end of season 2, I am releasing 2 very big music videos for the song that I wrote entitled Forever Hallelujah. And I will be releasing a rock music video with a rock band and all the singers, and an a cappella music video. The final episode for season 2, the season finale, includes the acapella video, and that is the Fun Facts episode. So there's the information you need for the video series. And for finding my music, I have 3 albums out. One is Christmas Guitar Piece, the other is A Light in the Storm, and my 3rd fall release of 2023 is Just Let Go, and that should be released in November of 2023. It should be available to download all of that music on iTunes or Amazon. Hopefully Spotify, I believe so. There's been a lot going on trying to get all of this done. And so if you don't see it up right away, just be patient. I'll get it done as quickly as I can, and you should be able to download all my music on all of the major sites. So there's all the information you need to enjoy the videos and to enjoy the music. Thank you again for watching. Thank you for all your support, and I hope you will go and download the music today. God bless you, and I will talk to you another time. Take care.